Hello, Ralph Davella back. This is a series about playing above double high C. Last week, in lesson 2, we spoke about breathing. And this week, lesson 3, we're going to talk about the tongue. So, on the subject of the tongue, you can watch different great players, extreme high note players, regular high note players, just great players in general, and they'll tell you a lot of different things. More than one person that's right. So some of the great players will tell you that they don't even think about the tongue when they're playing high notes. Other people will tell you it has to be in a certain position. Some people will say one position, some people will say other position. I'm going to tell you about how I think that a lot of these players achieve these high notes. So the first thing I want to tell you about the tongue position is the tip of the tongue should be touching the top of the bottom teeth. So the tip of the tongue touches the top of the bottom teeth. And as we ascend, well, let's say when we're playing in the staff, we're going to say 2. The back of your tongue level is going to be down, not in a raised position. But as we get up to above the staff, I would say anything above the E on the 4th line, and we're going to start thinking E. Now the E raises your tongue level a little bit. A lot to be said about raising the tongue level. Let me say right now, you raise your tongue level as you're going up, but there's a point where you really shouldn't raise your tongue level up anymore, because eventually that cuts off the air. If it cuts off the air, then there's no playing anything. So yes, the tongue level is going to rise, but it's going to rise to a certain degree, not as much as I think as some people tell you. Now when we get up to the next E, above that E, there's another position a lot of the real high note players do, and it's the sides of the tongue are curling up against the top teeth. So at that point, instead of saying E, I say, or a lot of people say, shh, shh. Now the shh is like, you can think of it as a snake, a hiss of a snake. And that's creating an airstream where the back of the tongue is still raised up, but not raising up anymore where it's cutting off the air. So from that high E above the staff, we're going to think of shh, 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 like a hissing sound to go up above that point. So that tip of the tongue that is against the bottom teeth is also supporting the bottom lip, which also supports against the top lip. But that's another subject for maybe the next lesson, lip position and jaw position. But for today, let's stick with this tongue position, and let me show you the exercises that I think you should do to achieve this. So going back to lesson 2, you'll see I have the harmonics up to a C and no higher than that. So I want you to apply the tongue position going up, starting with the 2 and and then when we get to the E of the harmonics, you start thinking E, then the G, then the B flat comes next, then the C, and we're thinking E always up to that point. If you don't have the harmonics or don't know them, or you want to look at them again, go back to lesson 2 and look at the harmonics, print it out, or wherever you got to do. This way you have it. And then the other exercise I want you to continue to do is, I think we started on lesson 1, just holding the F sharp on the top line as long as you can, as soft as you can. Then we're going to do the G. Now, then we did the G last week. This week we're going to do the G sharp. And we're going to hold that as soft as long as we can. Maybe do it 2 times. And then the new exercise that I want you to do is good. I call it tongue rocking exercise. To get the feel, and they teach you the feel of rocking that tongue and getting that tongue into position. So let me show you that exercise now. Now this exercise I'm going to show you, you could take similar exercises out of any book, whether it's Arbin, Walter Smith, Charles Colin, and any of the books. Schlossberg, probably the best one. And you could do similar exercises. But I'll show you this exercise. And you can stick with this one too if you just want to stick with this one. It really teaches you the feel of moving that tongue, as you're ascending. Let me show it to you now. This is the notes I want you to follow. I call it tongue rocking motion. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna play 1 and 3 for that whole line, 2 and 3 for that whole line. You're gonna do it one line at a time, and you're gonna think the syllables with your tongue here. When you get to the A flat here, then you're gonna think of E. Okay, so your tongue goes anywhere from E. This is the E flat, so but I think more from the E natural, but you can think of it from the E flat too if it makes it simpler. So it's T. All right, so now just let me skip down to the last one, and you can over here where it starts on G. So it's T, it's all T E, and then anywhere from, let's say, the E on up from this line, you keep thinking E if that's comfortable for you. But if you start thinking that sound like you're making a snake sound, I think when you start getting higher and higher extreme, that helps you. Now it helps you because if you think of the sides of your tongue, the sides touching the top of your teeth, your upper teeth. So that's going to give you that, when you're thinking with that side, with the upper teeth, it's going to give you a little different tongue position. Now as you're thinking that, of course your tongue is still raised up, but we don't really want to raise it up anymore, the back of your tongue, because what happens is you start cutting the air off. We start cutting the air off, you can't hit any notes. It doesn't matter if it's a high note or a low note. So there has to be some kind of balance here. And I think so that's when you're trying to learn this, I think that's what's lacking in some of the explanations, or maybe some people don't even know that. But you can't cut the air off. I want you to practice this slow, because slow, concentrating on the tongue, what the tongue is doing. And then you can do it a little faster, and you can do it a little faster. No need to do it real fast. You just want to get the motion. That's what you're doing here. Now, you also have to combine this. Let me sit down and bring this to a conclusion. So in conclusion to this tongue locking motion, talking about the tongue position, this is the part that gets a little tricky. You need to start combining this. So what you need to combine that with now is from last week's lesson, which was lesson 2. You're combining the way we breathe and the way we compress the air and bring the air up. So if you could just concentrate on this tongue motion. After you start getting it, combine it with the way we compress the air from lesson 2, and you're going to be kind of shocked on the good things that happen. So that's it for lesson 3. Lesson 3 on mostly talked about the tongue. And I'll see you next time for lesson 4, and we'll continue. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it.